Hello and welcome to the Let's Get Sentimental video hop for the Altenew Educators. I am Amy Hill and this is Amy Hill Creates. And today I have two projects for you using a lot of different sentiments, and the technique I'm showcasing is embossing using a stencil. This is the alphabet stencil, and I'm going to place this on my platform of my die cut machine. And I'm making sure that the stencil is upside down so it will emboss the right side. This machine uses an embossing mat and then an embossing plate. And after I run this through my die cut machine, and you can see as I take it off, this gorgeous dimension from all of these letters. And I really like this white on white look, but I want those letters to stand out just a little bit more. So I'm using buttercream mixed media ink and a very light touch just to add some color to the background. And for my next sentiment, I'm using the main stamp in Hug Me stamp, and I love this little fox and this sentiment. And I am stamping this with permanent black ink because I'm going to be using artist markers to color my little fox in. But I want my fox to stand out, so I'm using the diamond shape from Geoframes, and I am embossing this in copper embossing powder. And because I have a very nice background, I want to cut out the middle of this diamond, and I just use a knife for that. So this is some quick coloring with artist markers. And I'm just coloring in my little fox orange, and I'm coloring in his little bandana red, and then I'm just going to fussy cut out this entire sentiment. For assembly, I am just pasting my background onto a blue card base, adding that copper embossed diamond, and then I'm adding Hug Me, but I've put instant dimensional foam tape on the back side of this. And this is my first card for this Sentimental blog hop. I love all the texture and the layers on this card. For my second card, I'm going to be doing the similar technique, and here I'm embossing with the Tiny Bubbles stencil. And I'm using the same sandwich of an embossing mat and then an embossing plate and running that through my machine. And love the texture that comes from this stencil. Starting out with Arctic mixed media ink with a light hand, then frayed leaf, and finally frosty pink. And I love how the texture really shows up when you add the ink like this. And I want to add a coordinating sentiment, but I didn't like how light this came out, so I'm adding in some coral berry to the top to get that pink to really pop. And to the bottom, I'm adding some Caribbean sky and then finally some Persian blue. And that really makes this pop out. Even more is adding some translucent pearl embossing powder to add some shine. And I want to make this stand out from my card base, so I die cut some black cardstock, and I am just offsetting that to the side, and now you can see when it's on the background that sentiment really shows up. But I want to do a little bit more, so I'm going to use the Geoframes diamond again, and I'm just stamping this in embossing ink, and I'm actually going to do a triple embossing powder here. I'm starting with Caribbean sky on one end of the diamond, and I'm adding fluorescent green to both sides of the diamond, and then finally some golden peach to the other side of the diamond. And after I heat emboss this, I'm going to cut it out and then use a craft knife to cut out the middle of the diamond. And now we're ready to assemble this card. So I'm just going to put my base on a blue piece of cardstock, adhere my diamond, and this time I'm putting it sideways because the sentiment is very wide, so I thought that would look good. And I like how it overhangs on the side a little bit. And then finally, after adding some instant dimensional foam tape, I put on that Let's Celebrate. And that is our two cards for today. Thank you so much for joining us on the hop. We have some prizes, and I hope these cards inspired you. Have a great day.